All right, guys, in the next 10 minutes, my goal from this video is I want to show you that real estate is not as hard as it seems. I want to show you that it is possible to buy a very near turnkey house, hit the 1% rule, find positive cash flow, find equity, all in a very near turnkey deal. A lot of people think that when it comes to buying real estate, you have to buy a major fixer-upper or you have to buy something in a really bad neighborhood. There's a lot of risk involved. In this case, I just want to prove to you guys that it's not as hard as it seems. You can buy something that's very minimal in risk and is very near turnkey in a good location and have everything that I mentioned earlier right there. With that being said, I would love to tell you guys how to do exactly that. My name is Jimmy with Swiss Realty. I help investors find the next buy and hold, BRRRR, flip, or short-term, mid-term rental here in the Columbus, Ohio market. And I've done over 30 million in terms of real estate sales, and I've done well over 150 real estate transactions. So I've done this time and time again, and I would love to walk you guys through one of the quick deals that I've done for one of my clients recently. So that being said, let's jump into the video. The property we're looking at today, it is going to be 2578 McGuffey Rd, Columbus, Ohio, 43211. So this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single family house. My client closed on this house at $153K, but understand that we were able to work out an $8,000 seller credit. So yes, it says 153, but actually it should be realistically 145 because again, we have an $8,000 seller credit. So again, it should be looked at as 145, not 153. Okay. So with that being said, this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single family house. It's 1,061 square feet. And again, as you can see right here, I am the buyer's agent for my client, and it was closed in December. So last month. And on top of that too, you can see right here from the photos, it's very near turnkey. It's in great shape. As you can see right here, looks awesome. You got original hardwood floors right there. The property's beautifully staged. It has new paint. The light fixtures look good. New windows, doors, everything looks to be newer. Kitchen cabinets look to be in awesome shape, honestly. The kitchen looks solid, as you can see right here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was quartz countertops. And again, it has a little bit of wear and tear right here. But again, that's very minor. We can get that fixed. But overall, cabinets still look in solid shape. Kitchen looks in solid shape. Obviously, you have older range right there. But again, that's not a big deal. Very minor thing. Aside from that, I have 3 bedrooms, as you can see right here. Everything's on the first floor. And then the 3rd bedroom we have in the attic. And here's the basement, as you can see right here. It looks very dry, no evidence of moisture penetration. Also, you have an AC unit right there as well too. And you have a big backyard. So again, this property is very near turnkey. So let's take a look at the location really quickly. So taking a look at the location, as you can see right here, some of the things that I always look for is there trash on the streets? There's a lot of homeowners here. Is it quiet? Does it feel residential? Is it a safe neighborhood? So these are always questions I always ask. And when I walked this property for my client, again, last month, it was very safe. It felt very clean. I liked everything that I was seeing so far. So again, I did like the location. I am a huge fan of it. And obviously, I'm sure you guys know this, is that when it comes to looking for positive cash flow, you cannot be expecting the best neighborhoods, like the absolute highest neighborhoods, like the A+, B+ neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods are not going to cash flow. But on the other hand, I really don't like sending neighborhoods that are not safe or not very residential. I don't like neighborhoods like that. So I really like middle of the pack neighborhoods I would say that are very family oriented, long-term tenants, working class. That's my bread and butter when it comes to finding positive cash. So with that being said, let's take a look at the rent report now. So as you can see right here, we have multiple comps showing that this one can be rented for $1,500 a month. As you can see right here, we have this comp right here saying it's been rented at $1,500 a month. It's a single family house, obviously similar to ours. The 1,000 square feet, ours is 1,061 square feet. So if anything, ours is a little bit bigger and it's rented at $1,500 a month. So again, this is evidence showing that again, this will hit the 1% rule, this will cash flow, and it can be rented at $1,500 a month. And then on top of that, we have another example as well too. This one, very similar. And again, super close. And again, 0.09 miles, 0.1 miles. Again, it's very close. So this one's $1,500, rents for $1,500 a month as well too. And it's even smaller than our property. So again, this is a ton of evidence showing that we will hit the 1% rule and we will get this one rented at $1,500 a month. This is exactly what we want to be looking for. And aside from that, we have a few other comps showing $1,400 a month, more evidence showing that we'll get pretty much the 1% rule in this case. Next up, we're going to look at some comps. So basically, when I pulled comp, I looked for specifically 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, single family houses. I looked for those properties that were very similar in square footage and looks the same as our subject property as well too. So what I was able to find is multiple comps showing 180, 185, 197, 197, and 199, 185. So again, we have comps showing that there's a ton of equity in this deal. And again, as you can see right here, there's comps showing that we have recently sold properties, as you can see right here, that are turnkey, renovated, looks in great shape, selling for 180, 185. Again, these are very near turnkey renovated comps. As you can see right here, this one looks exactly like ours, sold for 197. After our client turns it over and it gets it rent ready and puts in a tiny bit of work, he should be able to refinance this at anywhere from 180 to 190, in my opinion. So again, there's a ton of equity. And I think there's roughly $30,000 to $40,000 of equity in this one deal. This one's got the 1% rule. And in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of the location as well too. So then very lastly, we're going to put this all together. So we're going to look at the purchase price and we're going to put everything into the deal analysis spreadsheet so we can see how much money is my client going to be making from this property. So first up, we have the purchase price. As you can see, I'm just going to put 153. Again, realistically, it should be 145 because again, I negotiated an $8,000 seller credit to my client. I'm just going to use 153 just to make this a little simpler. So 153 for the purchase price. He's using conventional financing. So he's going to put 20 to 25% down. In this deal, I believe he put 20% down in this case. For closing fees, we always typically will use 1.5%. That's going to be like lender fees. That's going to be like title fees, third-party fees, stuff like that. This is not realtor fees, so I do want to let you know that. And again, sellers are going to pay my realtor commissions, and the sellers, at least here in Columbus, Ohio, are still paying realtor commissions. So again, the buyer's not paying commissions out of pocket. The only thing that he basically has to pay for is a little bit extra for some lender fees, title fees, and again, third-party fees, essentially. And again, that's roughly 1.5%. He's going to take a loan out using conventional financing. I just use 6.5% just for the interest rate. I'm going to use a 30-year fixed loan. And on top of that, when it comes to selling the property, I don't believe he's going to sell the property. I think he's going to hold the property for the rest of his life. But basically, we're just going to run the scenario that he's going to sell the property in 10 years as well, too. I will let you know here in Columbus, Ohio, I do believe appreciation is going to be more than 6%. But in this example's sake, I'm going to use 6%, which is very conservative. So 6% for the appreciation year over year. And let's say to sell this property, it's going to be 8%, which again, that's going to be 3% for the buyer's agent commission, 3% for the seller's agent commission, and let's say 2% for closing fees as well too. So just be conservative, 8% to sell this property. And let's take a look at it, how much he's going to make also when he sells the property in 10 years. So next up, we're going to look at the estimated income, which I'm going to put $1,500 a month as we saw from the rent report. So again, this one's going to hit the 1% rule. And on top of that, when it comes to reserves, I pulled this property taxes from the auditor site. It's at $180 a month. So $180 a month. Insurance for a property of this size, you're probably looking at $80 a month in this case. Again, insurance here in Columbus, Ohio is very cheap. And then for reserves. So I always use 855. So that means 8% for PM fees, 5% for vacancy, and 5% for repairs and maintenance. I strongly always tell a lot of my investor clients, do not use 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. If you use 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, then basically you're going to be overly conservative, and no deal will ever make sense in that case. So I always use 855, which, it's conservative, but it's not overly conservative. Okay. So it's going to be 5% for repairs and maintenance together. And then it's going to be 5% for vacancy. So again, 5% for repairs and maintenance, and then 5% for vacancy here. And then we're going to do 8% for PM fees. All right. Okay. And 8% for PM fees right here. So with that being said, we're looking at a 7.38% cash on cash return. He's going to make annually $2,428 a month annual cash flow after everything. His net operating income is going to be $11,712 a year as well too. and its IRR is going to be roughly 23.5%. This cap rate is going to be 7.65%. So with that being said, let's take a closer look at the numbers. Pretty much his gross income is going to be 1425. It's going to be 1425. Let me see where we got this number from. So his net operating income a month is $976 a month. But then after you account for the mortgage, he's going to be net cash flow after everything, after PITI, after PMDs, after reserves, after everything. He's going to be making $202 a month, which is absolutely solid here in Columbus, Ohio. And on top of that too, let's say he does sell the property in 10 years, accounting for 6% appreciation year over year. He's going to make a total profit of $82,822. And if you account for everything, all his returns, including his cash flow, his appreciation, pretty much everything combined, he's going to be making a cash on cash return of 251% in 10 years if he does decide to sell the property. If he doesn't sell the property, he's going to be making $202 a month net cash flow after everything, which is amazing for a deal that is very near turnkey in a solid location, hits the 1% rule, and has tons of equity. A deal like this is just incredible, honestly. My goal in this video was just to show you guys that you don't have to buy a crazy fixer-upper. You could be buying a deal that's very near turnkey, looks to be in really good shape, and start cash flowing, have a lot of equity. Deals like this still exist today. So if you want to find a deal like this, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help with that. Again, my name is Jimmy with Swiss Realty. I help investors find the next buy and hold, BRRRR, flip, or short-term midterm rental. So if you want to work with me or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will love to help. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.